and good afternoon, and welcome to another show on Praise Talk. My name is Praise Esimoto. I bring you greetings, and I pray that you've had a wonderful week. And I also bring a word of hope to somebody that is down, or somebody that might be going through something this week, thinking that all is lost and gone. I want you to know that God has you in mind. The Bible says that our names are written in the palm of his hands, and our walls are continually before him. He also says that he who watches over Israel neither slumbers nor sleep. The Lord will preserve you. He will preserve your soul. He will preserve your going out and your coming in. And so, child of God, be rest assured. Know that God has you in mind, and whatever you might be experiencing, it's only but for a short time. My guest this afternoon is a mother. She's a solicitor by profession, and she's also a wife and happily married. And she's also a book writer, and we're here to talk about her book and to share her experience with you. So call your friends, call your loved ones, tell them Praise Talk is on. Maybe you can go on Facebook and put it on your status that Praise Talk is on. Take your BB and put it on your status that Praise Talk is on. Help us with this, and let's share the word together. And Jennifer Jones, you're welcome to Praise Talk. Thank you so much for coming. We've had a discussion, and we've talked so much about what we're going to be talking about this afternoon. But before we go into that, I just want you to just tell us about the book that we're going to talk about this afternoon.
Yes. This book is called The Silent Sunset.
Yes.
It's a biography or memoir of my father, Serai Yonanyeko,
okay.
whom my family and I lost during the turbulent era of Idi Amin in Uganda in the late 1970s. So this book is really about remembering of a loved one.
Remembering of a loved one.
Yes.
And you know, so many of us have been through that situation before, and obviously we have dealt with it in different ways.
That's right.
And obviously we'll be knowing how you would be, how you have experienced it and how you've come across that, which I believe would help somebody this afternoon. Now, what's the message? What do you want to pass on to the audience, people that are watching us this afternoon?
Well, as I said, some people choose to forget the loss of a loved one, either because they want to shut out the pain or because they think that's the end of a phase in their lives. But I think it is important to remember because these people would have been a major emotional part of your life.
Indeed.
Yes,
Indeed.
and they would have contributed enormously to your own life.
Yes.
So that should be celebrated.
Definitely.
You only have to take a look at the 9/11 anniversary where the victims of the families of the victims become stronger and stronger by each anniversary because of the passage of time.
Right.
So please do remember them.
Indeed.
Yes.
And from the remembering of a loved one, you have channeled this into the book. What inspired you to put this into writing?
Yes. I lost my father about 30 years ago.
Wow.
And ever since that time, I felt the need to preserve his memory.
Okay.
And I thought the best way to do that was to write his story.
Okay.
And in writing this book, I was able to express my feelings, release emotions that finally gave me the healing that I needed. Also, over the years, a lot has been discussed about Idi Amin himself, but not about the victims. The victims have been forgotten. But it's very important that the victims are also discussed, not just about the manner of their death, but their contributions to their country and the families that they left behind.
Yes.
I think we'll be doing them a disservice not to talk about them and not remember what they've done with their lives when they were still alive.
Indeed.
Yes.
So we're talking about remembering a loved one. And obviously, this is a process that one goes through.
Yes.
What are the processes that people go through when they lose loved ones to the end of coming to closure?
Yes. The book takes the reader on a journey through the process of loss,
Okay.
From denial, and then with the passage of time, with prayer, also through faith, you will finally come to accept your loss.
Okay.
And when you do that, you will be able to celebrate and you'll get your healing in that way.
Okay.
I also believe that through healing, you will be able to see the good that the lost, those who you have lost, have done in their lives, and begin to celebrate that.
Okay.
That means that they will ultimately also live through you. They begin to live through you, and you'll find the peace that you need.
Wow.
Yes.
So let's just going back into something that you just shared just now about the process, which is the loss, the denial, the acceptance and the healing. Tell us about the denial area, because it's interesting that especially sometimes when people travel abroad, people lose loved ones, and the impact that they would have when they're probably at the place at which it happens is different to the one when you're away from the loved one that you lose.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, that's right. Because if you're away from where the action takes place, and you simply hear the news, you are in shock. Because you could have just talked to that person a few days ago or a month ago, and to you he's very much alive. And when you're given the news that he's dead, you are in shock, and the first reaction is to deny it.
Wow.
You don't believe it, you won't accept it.
Wow.
But eventually, with time, and as I said, with prayer and faith, you will become to accept. And when you do that, then your healing will also come.
Okay.
Yes.
So is the acceptance stage, is it a quick stage of saying, okay, I mean, I did not believe it. No, it never happened. And then coming to the place of acceptance, is it that, okay, I accept that they've gone, and therefore, how does one go through that process of accepting the whole thing?
Yes. You would have, by accepting, you would have tried to find out how it actually happened.
Right.
Yes, and go through that journey of finding out what would have felt,
so it's
what
a place
it would have felt like.
Of realization, and you kind of like reason out. Is that what goes on?
Yes, you try to understand why it happened.
Okay.
Yes, and perhaps when you have reached that stage where you're able to understand why it happened, the way it happened, then it becomes easier for you to accept.
Right.
Yes.
If the person is at a place where the why that it happened is not justified, how do they deal with that?
I'm sure, death is never justified.
Indeed.
It can never be justified.
Indeed.
But it's just understanding it, trying to understand it.
Okay.
Because you know that there's no going back anyway.
Right.
There's no going back.
So acceptance is at a place of making adjustments to go forward from the place of loss.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
A closure, so to speak.
Right.
Bringing it to a close.
Okay.
So that you can move on with your life.
Okay.
Yes.
And we come to a place of healing.
That's right.
Now, how does that healing begin to take place?
The healing, once you felt that you are healed, is when you are actually celebrating the life of the lost one. Okay. You're thinking about them more, and not in a painful way, but in a celebratory way, actually saying, look, this is what they did. Wow, is this what he said? Right. Is this what he was doing? Right. Is this what he wanted us to do? Right. then you begin to go back and think about it and enjoy it all.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is
and little things then begin to remind you
of him.
We probably see somebody and think, oh, that person looks like this person.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Oh, they would have spoken like them.
Yes.
Right.
And oh, what would you have done in this situation?
Right.
You ask yourself.
Right. And it brings a joy in the process of the fact that it's a loved one that you've lost, but you smile in memory of them.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, coming back now to the fact that this had to do with the era in which, you know, it happened to you with, you know, yourself being affected by this. Why did this mean so much to you? Obviously, it was your dad, but what did your dad mean to you?
My dad was my world. I thought I lived for him.
Right.
I thought my success was for him.
Wow.
Everything that I did was for him.
Wow.
But then, as I said, through healing, you begin to realize that what he really wanted was for you to succeed in your life.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
the reason to be somebody now or to live a fulfilled life is to fulfill the dreams that your dad would have had for you. So you actually look back and turn the whole situation around and make it into something positive.
That's right.
And a good reason to live for.
Absolutely,
wow.
yes.
I really, really hope that we can see things like this.
Yes.
I mean, it's taken you 32 years, has it?
32 years indeed, yes. For some people, it takes even longer.
Wow.
But of course, for some, it takes a lot, you know, a lot less than 30 years.
It takes a lot less than that.
Yes.
And obviously, this is the message in the book.
Yes.
That was spoken about. Silent. It's called
The Silent Sunset.
The Silent Sunset.
Yes.
How did you? What is silent? What's the Silent Sunset? What? How did the name come about?
The name came about because my father was like the sun that shines.
Wow.
Now that he's quiet, he's died, he's now silent. It's like the silent sunset that has now gone to sleep.
Wow.
Yes.
That is
that
beautiful.
Is how the name came about.
That's right.
Yes.
And it's amazing that you've written this book as part of bringing to closure your experience.
Yes, yes.
Now, somebody wants to bring to closure the loss of a loved one. You know, I shared earlier with you that when I lost my dad, this was about 2 years ago.
Yes.
The fortunate thing for me, I see it now as a fortunate thing.
Oh, yes.
And that was because my aunt, who is here, decided to organize a memorial service. I am so grateful that she did that because part of me was left unopened because I could not go to the funeral.
Yes.
Even though the circumstances that was surrounding it could not allow me.
Yes.
There was no argument about it.
Yes.
But there's a part of me that wanted to go. And I'm so grateful that my aunt did a memorial service which helped me to bring closure to that.
Yes.
And a lot of times...
Did you participate in the organization?
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, I helped my aunt to organize it.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that when I was going to the service, I was saying, I'm going to bury my dad. Now, this was a memorial service that was held a month after the actual funeral that was held in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
But I just heard myself saying, I'm going to bury my dad. And it was very strange feeling, and it's a very strange statement within my mind. Getting to the church, it was like everything just came home, you know, to like, wow.
Is this it?
Yes.
Is this finally it?
Yes. And my God, it's real.
Yes.
Because our unconscious self detached the denial area.
Yes, you were in denial.
Yes, detached ourselves because we're here and they're over there.
Yes.
You know, and you're like, well, the fact that you don't see them is part of your normal day anyway.
Yes.
But then I was so grateful because I helped to, with the organization of the memorial service, and it really helped me to feel as if I am paying my dad my last respect.
That's right.
And I even sang at the funeral, which I don't think I've sung like that before, because it was like,
your heart.
Yes, I was like, this is my last time singing for you.
Him. Yes.
You know, but then not many people have that opportunity to bring closure.
That's right.
What do you say? What can you say to those people that have still got doors that are still open?
Well, what I would say is that perhaps you're still going through denial, and because you're still feeling the pain, it's not bad. You have to go through it because it's a process.
Right.
A process that you go through. It's nothing strange. But after some time, and with a great deal of prayer and faith, I'm sure you will come through it. You'll come to accept your loss, and when you do that, that's when you get the healing that you need, and you'll get the peace also that you crave for.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Now, the book, obviously, The Silent Sunset, shares your experience, but what are the other areas that you talk about in the book that, you know, should give people a reason to want to have a copy of it?
Yes. The book is also about childhood tragedy, and it also historical, in a sense that it talks about an African past that still asks a few questions which seek an answer. The sort of questions it asks is whether some of the political upheavals that a few African countries are going through is rooted in colonialism. Now, colonialism, for some people might not know what it means, but it is when a strong country goes and dominates a weaker country and controls their economy, their political system, and also their culture, in a sense that they introduce their language and also their educational system. So this book is really about Uganda, and it transcends Uganda's political history from the 19th century through to colonialism, to independence, and thereafter independence. Yes, and it also discusses the impact of colonialism on some of these African countries, what good it did, and what were the consequences. I would say that one of the good that is the colonialism brought about was that at the time when it existed, you find that there was law and order. And but the moment they handed the country back to the people, you find that tribalism and the need for individual power reared its head. But I must say that one of the consequences that always stands out for colonialism is that of the fact that most of the production of raw materials in these countries were mainly geared to bolster the industries of the colonizing power rather than of the people, benefiting the people.
Right.
Yes, so you find this not just in Uganda or Africa alone, but anywhere that the British Empire existed, like Australasia, Asia, and so on. Yes, so.
Is that a similar thing that's actually going on now in the world?
It's no longer going on now, but of course the impact.
Yes,
of it
a similar
is still
thing of
reverberating.
Yes,
it is.
Yes, which is obviously why people are suffering unnecessarily.
Yes.
And the people of the countries are not enjoying what they're meant to enjoy.
That's right.
Yet people are still dying, and you know.
Yes, and the conflicts.
Yes,
the conflicts that are taking place. For example, like Idi Amin, the questions that are asked is that could Idi Amin have come about if certain things were done differently,
right?
Which would have been rooted in the colonial period.
Right.
So, you know, when you read the book, you'll find out some of the answers.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes.
And how can somebody get a copy of this?
The book can be found online to book outlets such as Amazon, Waterstone, W.H. Smith, and also in the local stores. If you go to your nearest bookstore and ask for a copy, if it's not already stocked in the store, they will, I'm sure, request it for you, and you can get it in that way.
Okay.
Also, you can go to my website.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The details of that are on the screen.
Yes.
It will be coming up. It's
yes, it's
sorry, it's not here actually.
Should I say?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it's www.thesilentsunset.com.
Okay, thesilentsunset.com.
Yes.
And next week, you're going to be at, or 2 weeks from now, you're going to be at Black History program.
That's right. We have a stand there. It's number 53.
Number 53.
Yes,
okay.
where we'll be selling the book at a discount.
Okay.
And I'll be there on hand to
sign.
autograph.
Yeah.
Yes. To autograph a copy for you.
Yes.
So please come and enjoy. It's Black History Week, and culminating in the, on the 1st of 2nd of October at Wembley, where there'll be a lot of celebration and food and so on.
Yes. And you would obviously be celebrating the life of your dad.
Yes.
And we celebrate him now, even as obviously we talk about him and talk about the book.
Yes.
Another area that I would like to ask now, you've written a book and you are sharing your experiences. Obviously, you're helping other people through loss of a loved one. Yeah. Are you open to engagements? Are you open to invites, for people to invite you to go and speak?
Yes, I'll be very happy to be invited to speak about this point that we have raised, and any other that may come out of it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So please feel free to contact Jennifer. She'll be willing to come, and it may be you just want to have a chat with somebody and say, Jennifer, I'm going through this experience as well. This is where I'm at, or I share the same thing that you share, or you just want to congratulate her for writing, for actually speaking out and sharing her experience with us today. Please feel free to contact her. Details are on the screen. Look out for The Silent Sunset that Jennifer has written. She would also be, we just mentioned that she's going to be at the Black History Month event at Wembley on the 1st and 2nd of October. Look out for stand 53, where she will be autographing her book as well for you. Now, as a mum,
yes,
I asked this question earlier. As a mum, as a woman that is speaking out, and women will be looking up to you.
Yes.
What is the message that Jennifer is carrying?
Well, I would say that follow your dream. Never give up.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether once you've lost somebody close to you that your life ends there. Your life will continue. You'll still be able to do what you've always wanted to do. So I encourage everyone to go out there and follow their dreams.
Indeed, follow your dreams.
Yes.
It is so important that we all live an accomplished life, as that would have been your father's dream.
That's right.
Obviously.
Yes.
And my word to somebody this afternoon is that there is hope.
Indeed,
there is hope.
Yes.
There is hope.
Yes.
And there is light at the end of each tunnel. It depends on how you turn your message around, turn your story into a message of hope for somebody. Yes. Jennifer has obviously done that, and I hope that you would call her to grab a copy of The Silent Sunset. And stay tuned for Charles, and I'll be right back after this. Thank you so much for coming on Praise Talk. It's a pleasure.
Yes.